Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at another one of the buffed Pokemon for Season 12 of Go Battle League, Quick Attack ALOLAN Raticate. These battles were submitted to the channel by a member of the community, so many thanks for the battle submission. Now, Quick Attack got a buff in terms of energy generation, meaning that it's going to generate even more energy. So this trainer decided to pair it up with Hyper Beam on ALOLAN Raticate and absolutely nukes the competition. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out ALOLAN Raticate in action in the Great League. Hopping into the first match, picking up a fairly neutral lead, Nidoqueen into Altaria. Nidoqueen is going to be staying in this matchup and firing off the Poison Fang as soon as they get it, needing to start debuffing the opponent. Opponent is going to bring in Dunsparce. Nidoqueen is going to fire off the Poison Fang, and then my guess is look to switch. Poison Fang lands and brings in the ALOLAN Raticate. ALOLAN Raticate does have some pretty decent bulk to it, and Dunsparce does not hit hard whatsoever. As you see, Drill Run just does absolutely no damage. They fire off a second Drill Run, able to tank it no problem, and gonna be firing back with the Crunch. This Crunch will be getting that Dunsparce fairly low. Dunsparce not able to reach a final move. That's big. Back in comes Altaria. Thanks to the energy generation of Quick Attack, Raticate able to reach the Hyper Beam. Hyper Beam one-shots the Altaria. In the back, they have Water Gun Lantern. In comes Araquanid. Opponent sees the writing on the wall and concedes the match. Dream lead in the next match, Nidoqueen into Aromatisse. Aromatisse is going to save switch into a Waterfall Crawdaunt, the absolute spice. Nidoqueen is going to fire off a Poison Fang, but is taking a lot of damage to do so, and then going to bring in ALOLAN Raticate. Had a much safer response in Araquanid, but my guess is that they're going to go for an aggressive Quick Attack farm down because they want to Hyper Beam the Charmer. Able to get the farm down. Back in comes Aromatisse. Raticate going for the Hyper Beam. Do they respect it? They do not! Getting absolutely one-shot, and it's a second Charmer in the back. Opponent is running ABA Double Charm, and that did not go well for them. Brings in the Araquanid to just Bubble Beam spam them into oblivion, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading Nidoqueen into Marowak. This is definitely a tricky lead. Marowak is able to outpace Nido in this matchup. Nido farms up, switch, and goes for the catch on Raticate. Was the catch successful? Yes, it was. Able to catch the Shadow Ball. In comes Charm ALOLAN Ninetales, going for the farm down. Raticate able to reach the last second beam. Hyper Beam, charging up, takes down the Ninetales, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading Nidoqueen into Shadow Nidoqueen. The Nidoqueen mirror is always tricky. Do you go straight for the nuke? Do you try and call a bait? It's always a bluffing game. Nidoqueen decides to go straight for the Earth Power. Earth Power able to land and one-shots the opponent, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading Nidoqueen into another Altaria. Same game plan as last time, going to be staying in the lead to try and keep that Altaria away from the Araquanid. Nidoqueen fires off the Poison Fang. No sense in shielding the first, so Altaria does let it through. Altaria fires back with the Sky Attack. It wouldn't KO, but Nidoqueen is trying to stay healthy. Commits the shield and fires off Poison Fang number 2. Tough decision for the Altaria. Altaria lets it go, and because of that, they are going to get farmed down. In the back, the opponent has Azumarill, and this Azumarill has a very rough farm down ahead of it. Poison Fang does quite a bit of damage, ramping up these poison jabs even more, and Nidoqueen is able to reach a second Fang. This will grab a shield from the Azumarill. Azumarill leaves with quite a bit of energy, and in comes Araquanid to soak that damage. Araquanid is notoriously bulky. They go for the play rough. Araquanid tanks it like it's nothing. Azu fires off another play rough. That is perfectly fine. Araquanid gonna tank that as well. Araquanid farms up, brings in Raticate. Raticate goes for the farm down, but unfortunately cannot quite get there. Shields up, it's only an Ice Beam, and in the back, there's Talonflame. Do they go for it? They're going straight for it. Going straight for the Hyper Beam. Hyper Beam one-shots the Talonflame and gets the win. Nightmare lead in the next match, Nidoqueen into Diggersby, save switch into ALOLAN Raticate, which will be met with Shadow Granbull. Unfortunately, Shadow Granbull does too much damage, Raticate not able to reach the beam. Crunch will do some solid damage, doesn't wait the timer and brings in Nidoqueen, and that is really unfortunate because now the Nidoqueen is switch locked in against the Diggersby. Earth Power does some solid damage, but Diggersby is able to tank it, and this is enough for the Earthquake. Earthquake takes out the Nidoqueen, and now it's all up to Araquanid. Araquanid has a lot of work to do, has to get rid of the half-health Diggersby and whatever the opponent has in back. They're going to fire off a Fire Punch. Araquanid is going to return fire with the Bubble Beam. Bubble Beam, obviously not going to KO. In the back, they have ALOLAN Ninetales, and unfortunately, that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading Nidoqueen into another mirror match. Last time went straight for the Earth Power, and it was able to land. We'll have to see. Farming up, going for the Earth Power, and able to win CMP. Can Lightning strike twice? Yes, it can! But the opponent this time is non-Shadow, barely able to hang on, fire off an Earth Power of their own, and grab a shield advantage. So they've won switch, but had to give up a shield to do so. Opponent thinking about it, and they're going to bring in a Shadow ALOLAN Marowak. Nidoqueen farms up and is able to win the CMP tie. This Earth Power should be grabbing a shield from the Marowak, and then at this point, you definitely just stay in. You let the Nidoqueen go down, because you have an absolute wall for this Marowak in ALOLAN Raticate. ALOLAN Raticate, of course, triple resist the ghost attacks, meaning that the Marowak is forced to go for Bone Club, which is a truly terrible move. Marowak fires off the Bone Club lands, and they're going to fire off a second Bone Club. Raticate still not going to shield. We'll have to see what the opponent has in the back, and it's a Azumarill built up to the beam, baiting with the Crunch, and the opponent no shields. That's quite unfortunate. Banks a bunch of energy and brings in Araquanid. Araquanid, all of its attacks are resisted here, but it's extremely tanky. Azu fires off the Play Rough. Araquanid tanks it like it's nothing, builds up to the Bug Buzz, but chooses not to throw it. Araquanid will be able to tank this second Play Rough and fire back with the Bug Buzz. Bug Buzz is going to start to get that Azumarill quite low. Azu commits the shield. They are trying to preserve the Azu, and they aggressively switch back into the Marowak. This is not great. The switch timers are desynced here. Bubble Beam gets the Marowak low. Marowak looking for the farm down. Araquanid able to reach a last second Bubble Beam. This will take down the Marowak, and then it is Hyper Beam time. Back in comes the Azu. Hello, Azu. Goodbye, Azu. And that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading Nidoqueen into G-Fisk, an absolute nightmare lead. Honestly, the entire team hates to see G-Fisk, so kind of needs to stay in with the Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen is going to fire off the Earth Power. This will do a sizable amount of damage, but G-Fisk will be able to tank it and fire back. This is enough for the Earthquake. Nidoqueen needs to shield this, but gets baited with a Rock Slide. That is super unfortunate. Immediate save switch into Araquanid, and the opponent responds with Trevenant. Araquanid, instead of baiting with a Bug Buzz, opting to go straight for the Bubble Beam. I'm not sure I love this play. Honestly, even if you want a Bubble Beam, that's perfectly fine, but if you at least build up to the Bug Buzz, you can threaten a shield, whereas in this instance, Trevenant really has no incentive to shield the Bubble Beam. Firing off Bubble Beam number 2, this is going to be getting the Trevenant quite low. Trevenant will be able to reach the Shadow Ball, and Shadow Ball will easily be enough to KO here. Trevenant actually goes for a Seed Bomb. They get greedy and they get farmed down. Opponent underestimating the bulk of Araquanid, and they lose switch. In the back, the opponent has Venusaur. Gonna fire off a Bubble Beam into the Shadow Venusaur and bring in Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen going for the Poison Fang, but a beautiful catch onto Galarian Stunfisk. And with that catch, I'll be honest, I'm not really seeing a win con because Shadow Venusaur with 2 shields is just far too deadly. Earthquake deals massive damage. Raticate going for the farm down, but the G-Fisk lives on 1 HP and they reach a Rock Slide. That is not good. Venusaur is going to be able to farm down here, and then they will be able to outpace the Nidoqueen. Fires off the Crunch, gets the shield, fires off the second Crunch, but it's just not going to be enough because this Venusaur has a massive energy lead. In comes Nidoqueen, and I believe they are at the back-to-back moves. Nidoqueen shields up the Frenzy Plant, but it's in vain. They have the second Frenzy Plant that will take down the Nidoqueen, and that's a good game. Hopping into the final match, switching up the team a bit, leading ALOLAN Raticate into Drapion. Raticate is going to be staying in this lead. Drapion does build up to the Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb is not going to be fatal. Raticate lets it through and is going straight for the Hyper Beam. Drapion, do they respect the damage? They do not, and they get one shot. They have Toxicroak, immediate pivot into Araquanid. Toxicroak banks some energy and then brings in Registeel. Things are honestly looking very good for a Medicham sweep in the endgame. Araquanid is just going to do its best to debuff the Registeel as much as possible, and then 2-Shield Medicham should be able to close out this game. Zap Cannon not going to be enough to KO. Araquanid firing off yet another debuff. Registeel able to tank it, no problem. These lock-ons just do not do a lot of damage, and Registeel is forced to fire off a move. That's huge. They go for the Focus Blast. That's enough to KO. In comes the Medicham. Medicham looking for the farm. Opponent is going to switch, and they bring in Toxicroak. Toxicroak fires off a Sludge Bomb, and a very nice shield by the Medicham. Medicham, at this point, you can probably just start firing off Ice Punches. Ice Punch number 1 does get a shield, and firing off Ice Punch number 2. Toxicroak knows this is not a Psychic. Do they let it go? And they do. Honestly, that's huge. If you're Medicham at this point, you can probably just shield up and commit to the farm down. Shields, it is the Sludge Bomb, and will be able to farm down. Back in comes Registeel and a switch into Raticate. I don't believe Registeel is going to be able to farm down the Raticate. Raticate fires off the Crunch, gets the shield. The lock-on's just not doing enough damage. Registeel is forced to burn their energy, and that's huge because now Medicham can close out this game. Medicham goes for the farm down, and that is a good game. All in all, some incredibly fun battles featuring Quick Attack, ALOLAN Raticate with Hyper Beam. Quick Attack generating energy faster definitely makes it the perfect complement to running an expensive nuke move like Hyper Beam. And running an off-meta pick like ALOLAN Raticate, some people just may not even know that it has Hyper Beam, and that can form an incredibly deadly combination. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.